What's up YouTube? Yu-Gi-Oh! Stickman here of the YFOA, bringing you another deck profile using my Machina Mayhem structure deck mat. I like this mat because it's cheap, it's affordable, and anyone can pick up one of these mats if they feel like it. All they have to do is buy a structure deck, which they can, sell the cards or do whatever they want with the cards. Whereas with the thicker mats, which I like, those are good too. They feel better, provide better protection against the tables, if you will, I guess. Um, they, I guess, I don't know, they're just better overall, but they're really expensive, that's one thing. And most mats you can't even get unless you go to a YCS, which not all of us can get there. Like, I can't get there because I don't have a way to get there. So, yeah, I'm just really busy, so I don't have the time to go to a YCS, although I would really love to go to one and like meet all the top ranked duelists and stuff. So, I'm gonna get into the deck profile, I guess. And I was originally gonna do this thing with like tiers of each monster, but I guess considering seeing as how the deck hasn't changed really much since last time you guys saw it, which wasn't that long ago, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you the deck profile. Then after this video, I'm going to give you a deck profile of how I run it on DevPro and how the ideal deck would look like, or the deck would look like in its ideal state. Now, then at the end, I'm going to feature some cards that are not part of the deck, one of which could be part of the deck, and same with the other card, but yeah, they're not a part of the deck as of right now. So, first we run 3 Gishki Abyss, which is, I feel, a necessity to run 3. And I'm not going to go into depth, I'm just going to say whether or not you should run it in your own Gishki deck, as like my personal opinion, my own guidance, and yeah. Then we have 3 Gishki Shadow. And if you want to know effects, you can either type it up in the description, leave a comment, sorry, not in the description, leave a comment, or inbox me, or just look them up yourself. I'm doing my best to give you guys as little glare as possible, but just know if you listen to the name of the card, then you should be fine, because you can just look it up. Then we have 3 Gishki Vision, and it's a necessity to have 3 Visions, 3 Shadows, and 3 Abyss, in my opinion. Then we have 2 Gishki Beast, because it basically is like a Monster Reborn, and it's a really quick, it's basically a free overlay. 2 Gishki Chain, oh yes. Now these cards that I'm going over, you don't necessarily have to have in the deck. I'll move this down because this is not part of the pile that I've been going over. 2 Gishki Chain, you don't have to have him in the deck. I just like him, I guess. He's okay. He's good tech. Same with Gishki Beast. You don't have to have him in your deck. I guess you should run him if you really want to. And then because they have pretty good effects, especially Beast. You can either not run them at all, or you can just run one or the other. We run 1 Gishki Amelia. Highly recommend you run her. I know Lord Limit Prime likes to run something else, I forget what it was, but I highly recommend that you run a Gishki Amelia, just because she's so good. You can look up her effect later. I'm trying to make this video as short as possible. I run 1 Gishki Ariel. I used to run 2, but basically what she does is when you summon, or when she's flipped face up, you can add any Gishki monster from the deck to the hand. She's pretty good, but she's a little bit slow for the deck, and then I discovered Gishki Vanity, who was pretty much live as soon as you draw your ritual monster ritual card and the necessary means to summon it, which doesn't take long to do at all. So, although he can end up being a dead card in your hand, and you'll just have to set him. So, I just keep him at 1. I tested him at 2, did a lot of testing with him at 2, and I like it better at 1 and 1, or just 2 of Gishki Ariel. Gishki Ariel, I feel like you should probably put in the deck. Gishki Vanity is totally up to you guys. Totally up to you. So yeah. That's pretty much all the monsters. We pretty much just went through the monster lineup pretty fast. There's 16 monsters in the deck. Under the traps, 2 compulsory excavation device. I feel like you should definitely have those in your deck if you're gonna run Gishkis. Gishkis are really fun. I love it. I highly recommend you any new coming player starts off with Gishkis. They're fun, they're fast, they're easy to learn, and they bring back the art of ritual summoning, which Yugi introduced in the original show like once or twice with his BLS, his Blackluster Soldier, which for some reason everyone feels is such a good tech card for decks and stuff, and a lot more decks are being built revolving around Blackluster Soldier. But that's another discussion for another day for a different channel, aka the YFOA, Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans of America, with me and the Digital Fox. Bottomless, because it's good. You should probably run at least 2 bottomless in your deck. Not at least 2. At least 1, I'm sorry. You should run at least 1 bottomless in the deck. I just like it that way. Okay. And be mature about that last comment. Come on. Then we run 1 Solemn, which is just to kill stuff. It's better than Judgment. I highly recommend you run it. All the traps that I run, I highly recommend you put them into a Gishki deck at some point. And Torrential is totally up to you. I just run them for safety. Run it for safety because sometimes, you won't have anything on board and there's nothing you can do. So why not just kill your opponent's plans, spite them. Alright, now, under the spells. Oh yes, there are 6 traps. Thought so. So 16 monsters and 6 traps. Then I don't feel the monster count is excessive at all because the Abyss, Shadow, and Vision are constantly going to the grave. So that's 9 monsters just gone right there. So you really don't have that big of a monster count. There's only 7 monsters. So then onto the spells, we run 3 Gishki Alchemir. It really is up to you on which ritual spell you play. I just feel like this one's the most balanced. I like it the most. And it's just, yeah. 3 Salvage so that we can recycle all the monsters that we use. Because like I said, you really only have 6 monsters and you need to recycle them as often as possible if you want to win the duel. Then 3 MST. Because MST is a good card, I'm considering taking out 2 of them for Night Beam, or just maybe 1 of them for Night Beam, because Night Beam is so good. I love it. I love the artwork. It's just, yeah. Then run 1 double summon because sometimes you'll have a double summon a beast and a shadow, or not a shadow, sorry, or like a chain. Then you can, and you'll have stuff in the grave. So you'll summon beast. Uses effect to special summon a level 4 or lower from the grave in face up defense mode. Then it's really up to you which path you want to go. But I like to overlay right away into whatever, and then I'll play double summon and summon the chain and get his effect off, which is you draw 3, and if you pull a Gishki Ritual Master or a Gishki Ritual spell card, then you get to reveal it and then add it to your hand and then put the other 2 cards back on top of the deck in any order. But a lot of times, oh sorry, no, but Anyways, what I was trying to say is, hold on, let me collect my thoughts. Okay, what I was trying to say, was that I just lost it. Wow. Chain East. Okay, screw it. Just whatever. Sorry, I like totally lost my train of thought. I don't even know. Anyways, we run Reborn, Heavy, and Ritual Weapon because Ritual Weapon we like to run two level 6 Ritual Monsters, and this card boosts a level 6 Ritual Monster's attack and defense by 1500 points. I'm so glad I held on to this card all these years because that card has been out for a very long time. It's a very old card. So are all the spells and traps in this deck. They are quite old. Not necessarily that card because they could have came out in one of the more recent packs, but the card itself, like the principle of the card, has been around for a long time. You guys know what I mean. Anyways, that's why I have that in the deck. It's just good tech for when I get out Mind August and Gust Kraken. Plus, being at 1, all it is really is doing is filling that gap for that one card that you could really have anything in there with. Plus, it's a good plus if you know have it in your hand, and it doesn't really do any harm sitting in your hand dead. It does nothing. You can set it down and have it as a bluff, or just keep it and make a play around it. So it won't hurt you no matter what. So let's see. That's 4, 8. This looks like 5. 4 and 5 is 9. Sorry. 10, 11, 12, 13 spells. Okay. Blowing through this deck profile pretty quickly, actually. We are up to 12 minutes and 11 seconds. Not bad. Now we're gonna go through the Ritual Monsters. I keep it at 5. I feel like it's a standard number. It's not too cloggy. It's not too little amount of monsters. So yeah, I run 3 Soul Ogres, which are the ones up top, and I run their Avalgishki Soul Ogre and their Avalgishki Mind August here and Avalgishki Gust Kraken here. He's more balanced. He's at 2800 attack and 2800 defense. And then once per turn, you can reveal a water in your hand and blow up a face-up card in the field. And then him is when she's ritual summon, rather, not him. She, because Gishki Ariel is riding that beast. I don't know what it is. I guess it's some sort of a anglerfish or something like that. Anyways, when she's ritualed, you get to return 5 cards in the grave to the deck and shuffle the deck. And then when she's ritualed, you can select 2 random cards from your opponent's hand, look at them, and then shuffle one of them back into the deck, which is a really good minus to their hand, especially first turn where you would normally start out with 6. You're putting them down 1 to 5. It's a huge minus first turn. So those are the 5 rituals that I run. Like I said, I like it at 5. It's good standard. Running anything above 5, it gets really cloggy, and you're always gonna have one in your hand. Maybe, and in a lot of cases, you'll have more than one in the hand, and that you're screwed at that point. Because if you have 2 rituals in the hand, chances are you aren't gonna have a ritual spell card in the hand. And if you don't have that, you're really screwed, because those cards end up sitting in your hand dead. Unless you can card destruction, but I don't see why you would run that in this deck. So, or like you have to hand destruction because of your opponent, or card destruction because of your opponent. Anyways, on to the extra deck. We run 1 Hieratic Sun Dragon Overload Heliopolis because we run 3 level 8s. That's our Avalgishki Soul Ogre, and it's quite easy to put them on the board. Put 2 of them on the board at once. Plus, with their effect of, you reveal, blow up a face up. I believe it's revealed. No, it's discarded Gishki Monster. I'm sorry. Wow. I've been using it right in duels, but I've been saying it wrong this whole time. I don't know. I'm tired. Yeah, discard a Gishki monster to target a face-up card your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck, not destroy it. Ah, man, I'm so out of it. It's not even funny, you guys. Like, I'm really wiped out. Anyways, see, I'm committed because I'm bringing you this deck profile even though I'm so tired. It's not even funny. Him. You have 2 Soul Ogres on the board. Activate each of their effects, which you're discarding 2 Gishkis, but that's okay. They'll get them back eventually. Blow up, shuffle 2 cards, 2 face-up cards they control back into their deck, and then you would attack for 56. Then you would overlay for Heliopolis, which leaves you with a 3000 beater on the field instead of just 228s, which are easily matched by a lot of decks, and sometimes even surmounted by like 100 points, or they'll get to 3. So it's good to have a higher attack power monster out. And then once you overlay for him, you can detach one of your monsters, your ogres, get rid of any number of cards on the field or in your hand, and blow up that many number of cards on the field. So let's say after you do that to shuffle the 2 cards into their deck with Soul Ogre, they still have 3 face downs and a field spell left. Well, that's 4 cards. Now say you set down a ritual weapon and you've got like a Mind August in your hand, and you've got a Abyss on the field, and you've got just another face down that's totally just a total bluff in case they get over you. Well, what you could do is have Heliopolis detach, get rid of all those cards, and leave them with a blank field. That's like the biggest minus in the most extreme case you could ever, do. So, yeah. Now we run Steelstorm Roach, Snowdust Giant, Bahamut Shark. These 2 because it's a water deck. Him to stop specialing. That Photon Papal Operative. I forgot what she does, but she's really good. You can detach a material from the card to target a defense position monster on the field, change it to attack position, and that loses 600 attack. Then 2 Gotchi Gotchis because with Bahamut Shark we can detach and special one of them, and that just beefs up our defense. Or we can just go into them using Vision or Abyss. Lastly, Shockmaster because in that tin opening I got him, and why not? Although I'll 99% of the time won't go into him because 3 level 4 monsters, level 4 lower. So that's the extra deck. Then we got the side deck. We got a Vanity and an Ariel because I used to run 2 of her. I tried 2 of him, didn't work out, so I'm testing. Now I keep each one in at 1. We're in Contact with the Aquamirror and Aquamirror Cycle because this is like having another salvage, only you have to give up a card on the field, and this just lets you pull stuff off. I mean, it's just, whatever. You control face-up water monster, activate one of the effects. Control water ritual monster, you can activate both. First one is Look It, is all set cards in your opponent's spell and trap card zone, and then the other one is look at the top 2 cards of either player's deck and return them to the top of the deck in any order. So you can really screw up your opponent like that, and you can predict plays. That's just part of the deck that I have, part of the side deck that I have completed. The actual deck though is completed. Now for the 2 cards that could be on my side if I chose to. We have a Snowdust Giant, which I don't run 2 of because I already run enough level 4s. It's taking up another slot and I really don't care. And beside a Max C because it stops special summoning without actually having to go through all the work of getting a Roach and then having to reset yourself so that you can get a ritual play off. So that's why I side him. But I'm trying to figure out a way that he'll mesh with the deck well enough, which I think it'll be fine. But it's what it is. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. You go Sick Man out. Like, comment, or subscribe.